10. The Matrix Killer. A man obsessed with the 1999 blockbuster movie The Matrix was arrested for killing both of his adoptive parents when he lost touch with reality after watching the film for probably the 100th time. Joshua Cook was only 19 years old when he became a murderer. He had become obsessed with the Matrix and had come to believe that, like Neo in the film, he too was living in a simulated world. Cook reported feeling like a zombie that night he killed his parents. He felt no emotions as he shot his mother and father, and had become numb after years of rejection from girls and bullying. He simply did not care about anything anymore, and he wanted his life as he knew it to end. Cook could no longer distinguish between the digital world and actual reality. This argument was used by his lawyers in court, and it is now known as the Matrix defense. Cook saw himself as the main character in the movie when he would watch it, and he even bought an identical floor-length trench coat to the one Keanu Reeves wore in the role. He wore this coat to a sporting goods store when he bought the shotgun he would use in the murder, which was also the same gun Neo uses in the film. When interviewed, he claimed that he doesn't remember many details of what happened that night, and the song Bodies drowned out his thoughts when he grabbed his shotgun to shoot his parents. Cook also frequently played intense, violent online games as a way to release some of his anger. He told his lawyers, "It was like a video game, like I was in virtual reality. It was like I was watching myself." The Matrix defense did not hold up in court, and he's now serving 40 years in prison. 9. Video game binge. A man was found dead in January 2015 at an internet cafe in Taiwan after he reportedly spent 3 full days playing an online game. The man's name is only listed as Zaya in the article, and it says that he entered the cafe on January 6th. But then, a few days later on January 8th, an employee found the man sprawled out on a table and completely motionless. Saya was rushed to a nearby hospital. However, he was pronounced dead later that day from cardiac failure. The man had apparently been out of work for quite some time, and the internet cafes were the only places he could go because they were free. His family reported him disappearing for 2 to 3 days at a time to slip away and play his games. Police released a statement that said overexhaustion and cold temperatures could have contributed to the man's cardiac arrest and untimely demise. Unfortunately, the thing Saya loved so much was what ended up taking his life. 8. Adrenaline junkies. The bodies of a daredevil couple were found 800 feet, or 244 meters, below Taft Point, located in Yosemite National Park in 2018. 30-year-old Meenakshi Murthy, along with her husband, 29-year-old Vishnu Viswanath, were known adrenaline junkies. They would regularly post adventures to social media and their travel blog, showing off just how fearless they both were to their friends and followers. The duo searched the world for adventure and took insane photos and videos of their stunts. The previous year, the couple went skydiving, and Murthy wore a shirt that read, "Gimme danger." A post from March 2018 shows Murthy sitting at the edge of the Grand Canyon with a caption that eerily warns about the dangers of hunting for the perfect selfie. She went on to explain that wind gusts can sometimes be fatal under the right circumstances. Sadly, she didn't take her own advice. In late October that same year, the couple took a trip to Yosemite National Park, which would unfortunately be their last. Vishnu and Murthy set up their tripod close to the edge of Taft Point at a scenic overlook, and were never seen alive again. The unattended tripod was reported to park rangers by another sightseeing couple, and their bodies were found at the bottom of the cliff. 7. Trichotillomania. A 16-year-old girl developed an ulcer in her stomach, which burst open, causing organ failure and killing her. The actual cause of this ulcer is stranger than you might think. Jasmine Beaver randomly lost consciousness and was rushed to the hospital in September 2017. Before her episode, she had gone to bed, and then, when she emerged from her room, her family reported that her skin was red and blotchy. The teen girl was diagnosed with peritonitis, which happens when a layer of tissue in the abdomen becomes inflamed. Her condition was too far along for medical professionals to fix. After Jasmine had passed, an autopsy revealed that she had a hairball in her stomach that had become infected. The girl apparently suffered from trichotillomania, which is an impulse control disorder that is often accompanied by the person compulsively pulling or eating their hair. This bad habit can eventually lead to big clumps of hair forming in the gastrointestinal tract, which then causes a wider blockage of the digestive system. And in extreme cases like Jasmine's, the condition can lead to death if not taken care of in a timely manner. 6. Mukbang fatality. Influencers don't have it quite as easy as some people may think. Recently, a 19-year-old passed away due to his extreme behaviors for likes and followers. Sun Yi-swan was a well-known internet personality on the app Kuaishou, which is similar to YouTube but is mostly used by people in China, Korea, Japan, Brazil, Pakistan, and Indonesia. Yi-swan would film himself binge-eating crazy large amounts of food, also known as mukbang, which translates to eating broadcast in Korean. The internet star had almost 500,000 followers on the app, and his fans loved his over-the-top personality and sense of humor. He often consumed a plethora of fatty and high-calorie foods in order to draw in more curious viewers. Yi-swan's unhealthy eating habits may have contributed to his untimely death, according to reports. In January 2021, the news broke that he had passed away from a cerebral hemorrhage, which is a condition in which a ruptured blood vessel leads to bleeding in the brain. Yi-swan's followers were devastated to hear about his death, and his fellow influencers and friends posted heartbreaking tributes on their socials to honor him. It is not known for sure what exactly caused his death, but there has been speculation that his frequent mukbangs could have been the reason. 5. Botched. Artie Lang has had a bit of a drug problem in the past, and after years of abusing harsh and illegal substances, his nose has completely caved in on itself. You might have heard of the reality show Botched, where Dr. Paul Nassif, a famous plastic surgeon in Beverly Hills, tries to reverse damages from previous procedures for individuals needing some help. The show has featured a handful of celebrity guests, including Farrah Abraham, Heather Dubrow, and Janice Dickinson. And if any star is in need of some cosmetic work, it's comedian Artie Lang, former sidekick to Howard Stern. TMZ talked to Nassif regarding Artie making an appearance on the show, and the surgeon replied that he would be happy to offer his services to the comedian so long as he kicks his drug habit. Nassif explained that the deformity of Artie's nose is caused by repeated trauma to the septum. It's also referred to as saddle nose and is almost always the result of frequent cocaine use. Today, it seems that Artie is doing extremely well and has been sober for over 3 years as of February 2022, when he posted to Twitter to tell his audience of his accomplishment. The comedian has even said in interviews that he likes his pancaked nose, and that it's a reminder of 30 years of drug abuse and of all the terrible places that decision led him. So for now, it doesn't look like we'll be seeing him on Botched anytime soon. 4. Red Bull gives you wings. Energy drinks are often used as a quick fix for drowsiness, but when they're consumed excessively, they can be extremely dangerous. In April 2021, a 21-year-old British university student suddenly developed heart failure. According to a BMJ case report, the man drank 4 500-milliliter, 17 fluid ounces, energy drinks every day for roughly 2 years before he was finally hospitalized. The unnamed law student would spend upwards of 60 hours a week studying, which explains his addiction to energy drinks. When he was admitted to the hospital, it was concluded by doctors that energy drink-induced cardiotoxicity was felt to be the most likely cause of his heart failure. After extensive tests were done, they found that both his kidneys and heart had failed. Organ transplants were considered, However, after just 58 days in the intensive care unit, he passed away. The man had no prior medical conditions other than the excessive intake of energy drinks, and he was consuming on average 640 milligrams of caffeine a day, when the safe limit for healthy adults is only 300 milligrams. Before he passed away from his condition, the man said he was experiencing heart palpitations and tremors after consuming the drinks, as well as severe migraine headaches if he did not get the caffeine his body was reliant on. 3. Call of Duty tragedy. In February of 2021, a Brazilian gamer turned himself into the police after he murdered a female rival while they played Call of Duty at his home. In the northern São Paulo city of Pertuba, 18-year-old Guilherme Alves invited 19-year-old Ingrid Oliveira to his house to play the popular video game. The two had met online a month before while playing Call of Duty Mobile. Guilherme's obsession with the game caused him to have a warped sense of reality, and he had apparently planned the killing 2 weeks prior to inviting Ingrid to his home. Unfortunately, Guilherme also had a rough life, and coupled with his addiction to the violent game, it had caused him to have very dark thoughts. He even wrote a 52-page book where he revealed that he never knew his biological father and outlined his mission to kill an unknown number of people. He was a member of the gaming team known as Gamers Elite, and Oliveira was part of an esports team called FBI Esports, so they both played the violent game very often, and it could have contributed to Guilherme's emotional numbness in the matter. The demented gamer posted a video to his social media after the murder, even showing off the blood of his victim to his followers, saying, "Look how wonderful." When he was questioned by the police regarding what his motive was, he replied, "Because I wanted to." And while there is no concrete evidence to suggest that playing violent video games leads to actual violence, it's hard to imagine that it didn't at least increase Guilherme's aggressive thoughts. 2. Hot Cheetos overdose. Hot Cheetos are a delicious snack if eaten in moderation. However, if consumed in large amounts, there can be extreme consequences. 2018 was not the best year for rapper Lil San. He had just broken up with Noah Cyrus after she had accused him of cheating on her, and was apparently having a hard time dealing with feeling like a slave to his management. Maybe he was looking for some type of release. And so he turned to hot Cheetos as a source of comfort. Unfortunately, he did not eat the scrumptious spicy cornmeal snack in moderation, and actually suffered a hot Cheetos overdose. He recorded a video for his fans in which he stated that he had been admitted to the hospital after eating too much of the snack. He said that something in his stomach had ripped open and he had supposedly puked up blood. He posted to his social media to warn his followers, "Be careful, hot Cheetos are one hell of a drug." 1. Too drunk to care. On November 17, 2013, Florida native Kayla Mendoza reportedly tweeted "too drunk to care" before she got behind the wheel while intoxicated, and ultimately ended the lives of 2 women due to her recklessness. Driving drunk is always going to be a terrible decision. 20-year-old Mendoza obviously didn't consider the pros and cons before getting in her car and destroying the lives of young girls Caitlin Ferrante and Marisa Catronio, both only 21 years old when they died. Mendoza apparently did not even have a license to drive at the time of the accident, and she was extremely wasted after spending the night at a local bar with some coworkers following their shift at T-Mobile. She was so drunk that she allegedly sped into the Sawgrass Expressway at 80 miles per hour, 129 kilometers per hour, in the wrong direction, causing the collision between her Sonata and the Camry that Ferrante and Catronio were in. Mendoza broke both of her legs in the crash and had to use a wheelchair for over a year, but that was nothing compared to the pain and suffering she had caused the 2 girls and their families. As a result of her foolishness, she was charged with 2 counts of DUI manslaughter while under the influence of alcohol, as well as 2 counts of vehicular homicide. She's now serving the next 24 years of her life behind bars. Thanks so much for watching. What's the worst thing you binge? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We'll see you next time. Bye.